So there's a saying that goes, you've probably heard it, it goes, be kind to people because everyone's fighting a battle that you know nothing about. And there's a half truth in that. There's a truth that everyone's fighting a battle, but everyone's fighting a battle that you know everything about, because everyone's fighting the same battle. And we divide it into all of these different stories, like, I'm Matt, I'm male, I'm white-skinned, I live in this country, and I'm fighting money problems today, I'm fighting this problem. We have all of these different ways that we think that we're separate. We think that we have our own set of problems, and it's like, well, if you think you have a problem, wait till you hear about my problems. And they're all very, what's the word? There's a word here. They're all very custom and personal to us. But I can assure you that if we were all to put our piles into the centre of a field, almost 9 times out of 10, you would pick your problem back if you had to choose another one. And so, back to the sense of there only really being one problem in the whole universe, split into all these seeming different minds with seeming different paths and ways. And we think, you're fight. The reason everyone is so depressed, the reason everyone's so anxious, is because we're all fighting the same thing. We're fighting truth. The one problem is that we believe that we've left God. We think we've left home. And so we create enlightenment stories. We create enlightenment as if I achieve this, then I'll be back home. There's only one problem. We feel separate. We feel separate from the rest. That's more of a direct and clarified way. Is we feel as though we are a human being limited to the skin of the body. We are as if we are actually just meat sacks. What a terrifying thought to actually believe that your whole existence will end when the heartbeat stops. I can assure you, you had a different face before you were born, because you were never born. You will never die. The only part of you that dies is the part of you that is holding on. And so that's the only problem. It's one belief, one thought. There's only one thought that's the problem. It's I am separate. I left home. I messed it all up. And we all have our different stories of why we're separate. And this is where it seems to differentiate. But the path is so simple, and we know it's simple. We don't want to make it simple, because if we make it simple, we have to admit that we can do this in this lifetime. It's just allowing. The paradox of all of this is you don't even do it. You just get out of the way, and the Spirit does it for you. Or if you don't like the word Spirit, or you don't like the word God, which you should probably just get used to, but I can see why it's such a loaded term. But if you want to call it, life does it for you. Even in the path, we realise that the problem is also we think we have control. It's all the same thing. If you think you're separate, you think you have control. If you think you have control, you think you have free will. But the paradox here is doesn't mean you've got nothing to do. You can still have full responsibility, full intention to letting this unravel. But if you look at anyone in the world that seems to have a different problem, I always bring it back to money, because money is something we can always look at as a fake security. We all want this security. Now, even if you were to get very rich, and I see this in others, you just get another set of problems that seem different from before. Now it's not where's your next meal coming from, it's where do I put this money? It seems better, but no one's ever actually... We think money can bring, of course, comfort, it can bring stability in the dream, but it doesn't bring any fulfillment whatsoever. So there's only one problem that keeps haunting us. Sorry, the alarm. See, this problem is an alarm that's going off. But it's still the feeling of separation. Sorry, it cut out there. Technological problems are also the same problem. So with money, no fulfillment. If you can hone in on this one problem, things start to speed up tremendously, because then all you become fixated on is just truth. It's just freeing yourself from truth, or allowing yourself to be freed. Everyone's yearning for exactly the same thing. To be free, to be home. With perfect love, perfect peace. No one wants to be an enlightened human, an awakened human. We're here to destroy any belief that we are anything but perfect love. It just takes time, it takes courage, it takes intention to allow this to be revealed. You are giving space for this to be revealed. Let the hands of spirit come in and unravel that knot. You can't unravel the knot yourself. You can just get out the way. But the intention has to be there. I remember I sat down in a graveyard. It's a nice bench, and I just sat there and just realised, I just sat there and I allowed the spirit to come down. And I just felt the love for whatever it was that was coming through and unravelling stuff. I thanked that, because I knew it wasn't me. The me that was even taking credit in the past is dwindling and dwindling and dwindling and fading and fading and fading. And there's just love starts to flood experience. Because this is the timing thing. There's a timing to your me dropping away. There's a timing. When you're ready, it's a readiness. It's a readiness to allow spirit to come in. And only when you're open to spirit will it truly listen. Like I come back to it again, it's knocking on your door constantly. Spirit, God, freedom, enlightenment is just constantly asking of you to stop trying to work out this one problem with your own hands. Let it show you love. Because it's a memory in your mind. You know exactly what we're talking about. It's perfect love. There's no sense of separation here. It's prior to your birth. It has no knowledge of birth, death, human, world. And that's the only one problem is, again, you can say separation, but I can distill it down of believing a world. It's the same problem. Believing a world exists is the same as believing you exist, because the world is just coming up with you. As soon as you believe there's a main character of the body, can you even think of what it'd be like to not have a body? You can't. Thought limited to a body equals conscious experiencing. Home will never be found in conscious experiencing, because there's always a perception, there's always a feeling of separation. There's only one problem. So hone in on it, like a compass, like a fighter jet pilot. Go towards it. Anything will pull you away, go back towards it. You know where to go, straight ahead. No one needs to tell you. Just do it.